Today is June 30th, 22, and the setup for the Artsfest on Lasqueti is pretty much ready to go. This is taken in the morning before everything starts. The stage, which will be active tomorrow. And the barbecue shack, rebuilt by Mark Bottomley. And I got the right idea that I was going to do an art display of my microscopy shots. And so, at the head of the stairs here, is a printout of a graphene construct. I have filmed this before by itself. This one had plans. Okay. This I found in a drop of rain. And what's this doing in a drop of rain? There are many very talented people on this island doing artwork in many different forms, both fiber arts, and fabric. Whimsical. So I thought that it would be a good idea to do an art display here. And these are graphene oxide nanotubes. When they get like this, they absorb red blood cells. And you can see this pattern in the fully developed, whatever you want to call them, filaria, worms. You can see the striations here picked up. My theory is that they're taking iron out of the hemoglobin because the hemoglobin looks like hell. The red blood cells look like hell after this. Once they get enough red blood cells, they get very active. Like that one I took the picture of up forward. They also have interesting little do-funnies coming out of them. There's a blow-up of it. And these, what the hell are they doing in my blood? Okay. Here's one. You can see the red blood cells attached to it. You can see the striations that I showed you earlier in it. And what's that doing in my blood? Here's another one. Here are two graphene oxide particles connecting themselves with a filament. Here's a graphene oxide filament, and you can see the polarity shift here, repelling them on this side, attracting them on this side. This is a blood clot. This is a blow up of the same thing. You can see the red blood cells in there and the start of the blood clot. Figuring that these things were not organic, but were mechanical, I kept this one moving for 2 weeks by capillarying water with a slight bit of sugar and salt in it to duplicate plasma on one side of the cover plate and letting it weep under. And these were still moving. That's the tail end, the end of it. They were still moving when I let it dry out 2 weeks later. Here is another graphene oxide, and you can see the repelling of the red blood cells on one side and the attracting of it. There's a blood clots forming over here, and there's a mess over here. This one is one of those filaria, and this is what it was building. And here is a blow-up of it. It even looks like it's got a rib cage. Here looks like fractured glass. They haven't assembled into anything yet. Here's more. And here's more. You can see red blood cells. You can see the size of them. Here's a developed filament. You can see the striations where it's absorbed iron. You can see the striations in here. The printer was running out of ink, but you can see the striations, the helix or whatever. You can see them coming in. These are air bubbles, and that is a crystalline structure. Printer was running out of ink there, but made the color different. This is one from a triple vax person. Here is one of the filaments. Wraps around itself here and goes over here, and you can see it attracting red blood cells on this side and repelling them on this side. And I also put a couple of letters from the New Zealand doctors speaking out with science up that I've received, and the article in Exposed News about Dr. Welbergen showing good blood cells, and exactly what I've been taking pictures of for 2 months. All in all, 4 people have thanked me for putting this out. We'll see what it's like when everybody else gets a look at it. You can see here, these red blood cells don't look very good at all. Okay, around here, this was an earlier shot. These are healthy blood cells. These are getting funny looking, so. Okay. So later on, there'll be more.